ازيكم؟ كويسين؟ النهارده موضوع خاص قوي، وموضوع بيخلي كتير مننا uncomfortable، بيخلي ناس كتير بيبقوا مش مستريحين كده اهوت. ترى حد اتسأل سؤال من عياله، سؤال في الادوليسنس او او البلوغ او اي حاجه من الحاجات دهيت، حد جاله اي سؤال كده اهوت؟ بتحصل مش كده؟ وبتحصل ايه؟ بتفكرني الحته دهيت لما بيجي لك سؤال زي دوت بتبقى ايه؟ عارفين المسرحيه بتاعت مدرسه المشاغبين لما كانت سهير البابلي بتسال عادل امام، بتقول له قوم اقف، وهو يقول لها بعد 14 سنه خدمه في ثانوي. بنعمل كده اهوت قوي، بنعمل نفسنا ان احنا يعني خبراء وعارفين، واحنا عارفين كل حاجه. بس دي كانت قشره، كان هو بيحاول يغطي ان هو مش عارف اي حاجه، وان هو مش مستعد ان هو يجاوب السؤال دوت، او مش مستعد ان هو يقدم اجابه على اللي هو بيتساله. المشكله ان دي كانت مسرحيه، لكن احنا في الحته اللي احنا في المكان اللي احنا عايشين فيه دوت هتتسال، وهتبقى عامل زي الترنيمه ديت وسط البحر الهايج. لو مش بتعرف تعوم هتغرق، ومش هتغرق بس، هتغرق المركب اللي احنا راكبين فيها. فعشان كده الموضوع ده من اهم المواضيع ومن اخطر المواضيع. ولو احنا مش عارفين بالظبط احنا بنتكلم على ايه، ومش مستعدين ان احنا نجاوب، ومش مستعدين ان احنا نسال اسئله، ومش مستعدين ان احنا نعرف الريد فلاجز يعني ايه؟ يعني ان في علامات معينه لازم تخلي بالك منها وتفتح عينيك لما بتحصل، عشان تبقى عارف ايه اللي بيحصل حواليك. هيحصل فينا بالظبط ان احنا نبتدي نعمل زي ما بيقول المثل: لا اسمع لا ارى لا اتكلم. في ناس كتير بيختاروا ان هم يعيشوا بطريقه لا اسمع لا ارى لا اتكلم دهيت. فعشان احنا ما نعيش بالطريقه دهيت، دكتور نيفين هتساعدنا النهارده ان احنا to go through this. It's my pleasure to present Dr. Neveen Soliman. وهتتكلم بالعربي وبالانجليزي، مش كده يا نيفين؟
So before I start, you should know two things about me. One, I really don't like speaking in front of people, so you have to forgive me. This is not going to be amazing in any way. And the second is العربي بتاعي مكسر قوي. So I'm going to mostly do English, but every now and then ولو في سؤال بالعربي ممكن أرد عليه, but mostly يعني it's going to be English. As much as يعني I'll do as much as I can. So before we start, what I want everybody to do, I'm going to give everybody a piece of paper or a card and some pens, and I'm going to ask you to write your answer on it. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are so friendly. It's one of the things I love most about this church. I've only been here a couple of times, but you're so friendly. So can you tell me, like, how, if you're a parent, if you're not a parent, raise your hand, because I'm going to assume everybody's a parent that's here. Is anybody not a parent? Okay, good. So that means all of you have had sex. Yes? If you are parents, then you have experience. So you're going to be familiar with what I'm talking about. Can we do hands again? If you have a child ages birth to 5, can you raise your hand? Okay, and then if you have a child age 5 to 12, okay, and then 12 to 18. Okay, so we're talking mostly preschool, elementary, and kind of middle school, maybe a couple of high school. And I'm going to do all of them. I just want to know which one is going to be the most to put the emphasis on. All right, does everybody have a card? So, does anybody not have a card or a piece of paper? I have paper. My assistant. Okay, so on your card, what I want you to do is to write down, how did you learn about sex? Who taught you? Where did you learn? Where did you learn? Who taught you about sex? It can be the name, you don't have to put the name of the person, it can just say mother, father, teacher, other, TV, internet, friend. You have to actually write on the card. Okay? And then after you remember who told you about it, I want you to write down, what did they tell you? What did they explain? Just briefly, 1 or 2 sentences. I'm going to collect your assignments. Sorry? No names. Anonymous. They're going to be anonymous. Don't know how to use anything. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, everybody done? Ooh. Is everybody done? حاضر. Yes. Yes. So حاضر. So على الكارت هتكتب مين أول واحد حكى لك على sex. Give me a word, Arabic. What is it? جنس. مين فهمك أو حكى لك على الجنس. And then نعم. لا غلط. Thank you بس غلط. Yes, please. وبعد كده هتكتب حكوا لك ايه، فهموك ازاي، قالوا ايه. Just جملة صغيرة، مش الحكاية كلها، just جملة صغيرة. Okay? So if everybody's done, I'm going to collect. Done? I hope you didn't write in Arabic. عشان I definitely don't read. I'm going to come and thank you. You didn't do your assignment, Tons. Thank you. Anybody? Let's talk about that. Done? No, it's okay. عايز عربي ولا انجليزي؟ حاضر هحاول. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Who wrote my name on the card? Very funny. Okay. This is it.
في translation devices لو حد محتاج ترجمة الأجهزة مع هاني.
Okay, so معظم الناس كتبت either my friends, أصحابي, مدرسات, or nobody. Thank you. Okay? So, teachers, friends, or no one. So, I'm going to be asking you to do something different. هسألكم انكم تعملوا حاجة غريبة ومختلفة شوية. إن it should come from the parents. It should come from you. It can come from a teacher and it can come from friends. ممكن تيجي من different places. بس أهم حاجة إنها for sure تيجي من the parents. So there's 3 important things that you should know. The first is, it's never too late to begin. ما فيش حاجة اسمها it's too late. عندهم 16, 17, 18 سنة، حاجة 20 سنة، هيتجوزوا الأسبوع الجاي. It doesn't matter. It's never too late to begin. It's never too early. This one's a little scary, right? It's never too early. You want to be the first one to teach your child. So المفروض انتوا تكونوا اول ناس تعلموهم مش اخر ناس. The third thing is talking to your children about sex is an ongoing dialogue. It's not a one-time talk. It's not just the talk. هنقعد نكلمهم على الجنس مرة وخلاص. No, it's ongoing dialogue. This should happen throughout their life. Right? من هما سنتين بيسألوا البيبي ده جه في بطنها ازاي؟ Right? They ask you. ليه أنا شكلي مش زيها زي أختي؟ أو البنت عندها 4 سنين اتولد بيبي. إيه ده؟ هو ليه شكله كده؟ أنا مش كده. هو ليه بيروح الحمام كده وأنا لأ؟ They notice that there's differences. These are all opportunities for you to talk to them. These are chances to open the door, to make you be the one person that they feel comfortable talking to. And it depends on how you respond. Sorry. They're in the box. All right. Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart." This is your duty, is to train them up in the way that they should go, so that when they are old, they will not depart. Not teach them when they're old, teach them in the beginning. عشان لما يكبروا يعرفوا انتوا علمتوهم ايه ويمشوا في الطريق ده. All right. Most parents worry, right? Just like Peter said, it's uncomfortable. How? Why? Do I have to now? We wonder, what if I tell him too much? أنا مش عايزة أقول له أكتر من هو محتاج. Will this rob them of their innocence? هي بريئة دلوقتي، أنا مش عايزة أديها أفكار مش كويسة. Are we just filling their head with ideas and planting ideas that aren't even there? Maybe they're not thinking about it. خلاص, I'll just wait till I notice that they're thinking about it. You're not going to know. I don't want to tell him because if I tell him, he'll just want to do it. Right? If I open the door and talk about sex, they're going to want to go have it. So unfortunately, they're going to hear about it somewhere. Right? Just like your cards. They're going to hear about it from friends, from teachers, from TV, from school. They're going to hear about it on the playground. Friends are going to share new words that they learned, new things they discovered. Different things happen in different houses that you aren't aware of. في حاجات بتحصل في بيوت تانية وهم هيتعرضوا لحاجات مهما تعملوا. مهما توديهم private school or just هتلعبوا مع عيال الكنيسة or just هتفضلوا في البيت. Somewhere, somehow هيكتشفوا الحاجات. So other than parents, what are the other paths? There's schools, churches, and home. Schools have responded, right? المدارس دلوقتي, they provide sex education. Usually it's around 5th grade, sometimes again at 8th grade, and then another time 10th, 11th grade. Health, call it health sometimes. They're going to teach them. But the problem is that at school it's just the facts. It's just basic training in the biology, the science, and the anatomy of things. It doesn't contain ethics. It doesn't have morals. It doesn't have values. It's not going to have the biblical principles that you want it to have. So then, okay, we want the biblical principles. Let's do it at church. The problem with that is a lot of times it doesn't contain the facts at church. We focus on what the Bible says. But we fail to talk enough about the biology of it. Right? Or the actual feelings that come with it. We leave that part out. It's too scary. And a lot of times when we do it at church, it's a one-time conversation. So even if it does both and it does them well, it's a one-time conversation. It's a 2-day purity retreat. It's a one-time Sunday school lesson. It just happens this one time in their life and we're done. It's not continuous. But remember in the beginning we said it has to be an ongoing conversation. It continues throughout. Okay? The best places for them to learn about sex in the home. All right. So I'm going to have everybody say the word sex because it's very uncomfortable. Yes? Raise your hand if it's uncomfortable. Especially around people you don't know, especially sometimes even around your husband or wife. It's uncomfortable. But we have to get used to it, especially with our children. Because if we don't practice outside, then when you're faced in this situation, you're going to have a really hard time answering these questions. Yes? Has anybody had questions from their kids? Are you able to share what some of the questions are? Even the innocent ones? How about young kids who ask, who wonder? My daughter, when I was preparing for this talk, she saw one of the books that I was reading, which is a wonderful, wonderful book you should definitely look into if you want to have these conversations. It's called How and When to Tell Your Kids About Sex. So she saw this book and she said, "Oh, Mommy, why are you reading something with a bad word?" And I said, "Well, which one of these is the bad word?" And she said, "This one." And I said, "Why is it a bad word?" And she said, "My friends said that if you add a Y at the end, it's a bad word." Okay? She's 8. She's had these questions since she was 3, 4. She asks stuff all the time. It's a bad word. What? Okay, so they told you it was a bad word. What does it mean? Ugly. It means ugly. False. False, right? Does sexy mean ugly? No, it doesn't. But I'm sure that someone's parent taught this child at her school, taught them not to say it because it's ugly. And it means ugly, but that's not true. It's not true. And so I had to explain to her, no, actually, sexy is when someone looks a certain way that makes someone else want to have sex with them. Right? 8. Right? Because we're all wondering, ooh, it's too young. I don't want to teach her that. That's yucky. They're going to ask from age 3. You have a child who walks into the bathroom and sees a sanitary pad that you've disposed of. They're going to ask, oh no, what happened? You have to be, these are windows of opportunity where you get to teach them rather than the outside world teaching them. You teach them the way you want to, and I'll tell you why that's so important a little bit later. All right, you might be wondering which parent should do the talking. Okay, fine, let's say I admit we're going to talk to them. Which parent does it? Yes. حاضر. Yeah. اقلب. I think it's okay. I think it's okay ان انت تقلب. لا انت مش عايز تعرض عينيهم لحاجه، محدش بيقول لك وريهم صور. No. اتكلم معاهم. خلي الكونفرسيشن تبقى موجوده ان هم لو عندهم سؤال يجوا يسالوا. اقلب. Yes, for sure. No, I don't think it's proper ان احنا نوريهم افلام مش تبع سنهم. I'm not going to show a PG-13 to a 5-year-old. ولو في scenes of nudity وكده هوت، no, أنا مش عايزاهم يتعرضوا على كده. I'm wanting to teach them boundaries في نفس الوقت, right? Because you want to let them know, listen, الحاجات دي, it's not something, this is, as we talk more, you're going to see that when you teach them, you want them to know sex is something that is best, that was created by God to be good. It is good. It gives pleasure in marriage. Outside of marriage, it is hurtful. It has negative consequences. It can be destructive. And it isn't good. And it doesn't feel good later, right? It's momentary, but it doesn't feel good later. So you want to be the one to emphasize to them that sex happens in marriage. God created it as a gift to happen in the context of marriage. And that is where it is pure and holy and good and created for our pleasure. That was one of the reasons why he gave it to us. And we have to remember that. Because so much of the time لما بنكلم عيالنا we focus على النيجاتيف, right? No, دي حاجة وحشة, ما تعملوش كده. And then all of a sudden what they get married, oh yeah, دي حاجة كويسة, كنت بضحك عليك قبل كده. No, it's good. But it's something to save for marriage. It's kind of like what Abuna was talking about today. Don't be double-faced. ما ينفعش for the first 22 years of their life we say دي حاجة وحشة and then we change and we say no دي حاجة حلوة. No. Yes.
I have a question to cap on what he just said. When your child is sitting with you watching a movie and there's a nudity scene and you're changing the channel, they're going to get that idea in the back of their mind that that discourage them?
You're right, but this isn't good, right? Sex is good. Nudity outside of marriage is no problem. براحتي. عشان عارفه. That's why it's so important that you begin when they're young. جسمك معمول علشان in the future مراتك هي بس اللي تشوفك. دلوقتي محدش هيشوفك إلا ماما وبابا والدكتور. محدش تاني يلمسك. Wherever your bathing suit covers, no one should touch you. You also let them know your body is holy and precious and a gift from God. You take care of it. You honor God by keeping it private. This isn't something you show to other people. If your friends ask you, you say no. If they want to show you, you say no. Children do this all the time. Yes, in the bathrooms, they share with each other. They're very curious. This is natural. It's very natural for them to be curious about it. So when something comes up on the TV, you say, remember how we talked about you're not supposed to show anybody your body? This person is showing the whole world their body. That's not why God created us. Our bodies are private to be shared in marriage and for mom and dad to take care of you, to clean you, to help bathe you in the bathroom, help you change your clothes, things like that, right? This person here on TV, see, that's not how God meant for it to be. He doesn't want us to be sharing our bodies. Okay? So, which parent does which of the talking? Do moms talk to girls? Dads talk to boys? There's an intruder in the room. How? I'm going to have my husband stand up because here I am telling you you should teach your children about sex. He has a very hard time with it. I completely understand. I understand. And it's an important dialogue that we need to have together and to be on the same page of, well, how much are we both comfortable sharing? And why are we uncomfortable? What are we afraid of? Why do we hesitate? Yes. It's a good question. So a lot of times البيرنتس بتبقى most comfortable إن الأم تشير مع البنت والأب يشير مع الولد. That's fine, but you want to make sure a child is comfortable asking questions to both parents. You want to make sure that they feel comfortable sharing things with both parents, because what if you're not home and she really needs to say something? And you know, a lot of times with kids, there's that one opportunity, and if you miss it, they close up, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. So you have to be prepared to talk about it with both children, all children, mothers and fathers, to open the dialogue. The other really good thing to do is for both of you to talk about it together. Because when mom and dad both approach the child and share it, talk to them about sex at the same time, you are setting the model for them that sex is something that is to be shared in the context of a marriage and together. It is a uniting thing that they are both coming and talking to you. You're setting that model for them. And so it's most beneficial to the child. While it's most comfortable for you to do moms and daughters, dads and sons, it's most beneficial for the child to feel comfortable with both. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
The other thing I would say for me لحضرتك, it's like ازاي اعرف بنتي اعلمها ان اللي هتتجوزه يعملها بطريقه صح. هتيجي تسالك انت بس المفروض هي هتشوف لابوها عشان هو القدوه role model. He's a role model to how we should a girl be treated by a man. And same thing for the girl. But for the boy, when he comes and asks me, he wants to know how should I treat a woman. Well, as see how I treat your mom. مش بالكلام بس بالفعل، ليس احنا بنعيش بس بالكلام. انا كان بقول ان انا مسيحي 600 مره، بس المسيح المسيحيه مش بس بالكلام، بالفعل برضه. ففي نفس الطريقه احنا لازم نعلم عيالنا، عشان احنا لازم نوريهم بالفعل بتاعنا. الخدمه من غير الخدمه ما ينفعش اقول لابني ما تشتمش وانا اروح اشتم.
يعني ايه
ما
خدمه؟
اقول له ما تضربش حد وانا اروح اضرب. ما ينفعش اقول له
يعني ايه؟
احترم ما تحبش ما تحترمش البنات، او احترم البنات وما تحبش الامراض.
Thank you. Thank you. So, like I said, it's most beneficial to do both parents. I, for example, was closer to my father. He was much more patient and open and willing to have conversations with me. He's the one who talked to me. He talked to me about relationships. My mom didn't touch the subject. خالص. The day after I got married, right, the next day, we went over to the house. كله تمام? Yeah, alhamdulillah. What's up? How are you? No. كله تمام? Oh, now? Yeah, كله تمام. What? Right? It's too late. Yeah. So, the two most important predictors of preventing sexual promiscuity, that's curiosity, experimentation, right? And هما يطلعوا بقى محدش معلمني طب I will try by experience, right? If I don't know, I'm going to try by experience. The two most important predictors that keep that away are a close relationship with a parent and good academic performance. Two biggest predictors. So you can see how the first one, right? So a close parent relationship. If they feel close to a parent, because when they are close to a parent, بيبقوا عايزين يبقوا زيكم, right? They want to follow in your footsteps. They want to do what you are asking of them. They want to have the same values. Good academic performance comes actually more out of the self-esteem, because the more they are feeling encouraged by school and they're feeling like they're doing a good job there, they don't fall into the, oh, I'm not good at anything. Oh, this guy likes me. Well, okay, at least that makes me feel good. And so then they go in that direction instead. Okay? So this can't be emphasized enough. You need to have a close relationship with your child. And if that means figuring out what their love language is, have you heard of the 5 love languages for children? Right? We talk about it in marriage a lot, but it is the same for children. You're going to need to figure out what is your child's love language. You have to be close to them enough to know how to meet their needs so they don't get their needs met elsewhere. And so if you have a child whose love language is physical touch, you're going to need to have a lot of conversations about touch is really good. It feels good when you get it elsewhere. And you have to meet that need. Lots of hugs, lots of kisses. Find ways to meet that need and talk, have those conversations more. It's going to be, you're going to have the same different principles when it comes to other love languages. If it's quality time, you might need to have a one-on-one, go for a walk with your daughter if hers is quality time. Go on that quiet walk so she can ask questions, so you can talk to her without the interruptions of other kids in the house. Okay, I'm going to keep going, and if there's a problem in the back, you all can take care of your children. The other important thing is to be an askable parent. Be open to their questions. If they have questions, you need to be willing to respond to them. Do not shut them down. Do not turn them away. Don't laugh at their questions. Take their questions seriously. Sometimes we laugh because we're uncomfortable. You ever had that? Where it's kind of uncomfortable, you're like, no, nothing. Don't laugh at their questions. Take it seriously. It's very important. Answer honestly as you can. You can offer simple answers. Just because they ask one question, right? So if your 3-year-old says, where do babies come from? You don't have to launch into the entire book of anatomy. You can give small, simple answers. Well, it happens in marriage. Well, it happens between a man and a woman when they're married. This is where you start instilling your values here and there. The reason why I emphasize it's really important to do it early and not late, God didn't give us the 10 Commandments in Revelations, right? He didn't wait till the end of the book to tell us what the values were, what the rules were that we needed to abide by. He did it in the beginning. He did it in Exodus. He didn't wait till the end. So don't wait until your kids are 18 and about to go off to college to say, oh, this is a good time to talk about this. They're going to be exposed to stuff. They've already been exposed. The moment they start talking. The moment they start talking. This is hard, right? He said, so what's an appropriate age? It's the moment they start talking, they start asking questions. Daddy, why is the sky blue? Why do birds fly? Why is the grass green? How do babies get in tummies? You can still educate them. Sometimes they don't ask questions, right? They just do stuff. And so you walk into a bathroom and the child is touching themselves. Honey, I notice that you are doing that quite often every time I come into the bathroom. You keep running the water on yourself. Does that feel good? Yeah, Daddy, it does. Okay, so that's because this is something that God created for it to feel good. But he wants us to wait until we're married to have that good feeling. It's kind of like getting a birthday present, and you have to wait until after the party to open it. It's a gift. It's a beautiful gift that God gave us, and he wants us to take really good care of it until we get married. So sometimes when you notice things, you don't have to wait for a question. If they're the type that don't ask questions, find a door. Find those opportunities for you to find a way to share with them. Okay? Aim to give them about 20% more information than they're asking for if they ask. Give them just a little bit extra and see what they do. If they tune out, fine. Save it for another time. All right. So the other important thing to do when we're talking about elementary school age is to label body parts accurately. We name every other part of their body accurately, but we give the other parts nicknames, right? We refuse to call them their actual names. Use the actual terms. Be the one to teach them what's right. Don't let their friends teach them the dirty slang. You be the one to educate them on what the proper terms are. You want to be sure to emphasize two important things. Is everyone okay with me using terms with children in the room? Yes? So I don't want to be crossing your boundaries. I have my boundaries, but you have yours. For what? Nope. This is your arm. This is your chin. This is your nose. I'm respecting other parents, though, because they have children in here. And so, but you label them. You label them the right way, which is uncomfortable. You can use it, but just know that at some point, someone else is going to educate them. At some point, someone else, if you don't do it, someone else is going to educate them. You go ahead and call it their pee-pee for as long as you want to. And then they're going to hit 3rd or 4th grade, and a friend of theirs in the classroom is going to say, hey, did you know it's actually called... And they're going to go, oh. And then it's become this thing that's like, oh, I just discovered. Don't make it something that's so, ooh, I'm going to discover it. It's, this is your chin, this is your ear. They're not all excited about their ear. Make it a normal part, a regular part of their everyday. God made every single part of your body, and he made it good. And then you teach them the privacy. Educate them. Not every family uses this word. And so this is a word I want you to know, but we can use it in our home when we're at other people's houses. Please use their terms. It's the same way that you call anything else. This is how we eat rozen kebab. When we go to Tans, she doesn't make it the same way. Malish. We don't say ew. We just say okay. We don't say that's not called kebab. It's called blah, blah, blah. No. So when you're at somebody's house, you use their terms. We respect other families' choices, and just like they will respect ours. Okay? You have to decide what the proper terms are in your house. You decide what's acceptable in your home and decide when it's time to teach your child. Every child is different. Every child is different. Some children are very open and they want the facts, and others are a lot more squeamish. They're kind of like, ew, I don't want to know. Stop. Once you start saying, how do they, oh, well, sometimes there's blood. Oh, no, I don't want to know. Other kids are like, oh, okay, well, what else happens? They want to know the facts. You have to know your child. This is where the close relationship comes into play. You have to know your child. Don't be afraid if you get a hard question. You can honestly say to them, you know, that's a great question. I'm going to have to look into that. I'll get back to you. Or, I like how you're really thinking this through. I'm going to take some time to think this through myself, and I promise I'll get back to you with an answer. But just like you thought through your question, I'm going to think through my answer a bit. Okay? You're going to need to teach. Sorry. Question? Hold on. المفروض لو انتوا اوريدي بتحكوا معاهم في الكلام ده قبل كده مفيش اي حاجه جديده هيتعلموها في المدرسه. نعم. That's why you're here. So في المدرسه هيعلموهم كل الكلام. هيعلموهم the names of all the parts. هيعلموهم how everything works. Fifth grade. Most. Does anybody know earlier? Sometimes.
And these classes are very good. You don't tell them don't take it, they need to take it. Because you have to have a conversation.
Because if you don't take it, what's going to happen is they're فاتني ايه وهيحكوا لهم غلط. Exactly. They're going to give them their interpretation of it. Yeah. Here's what I hear from kids. So I do therapy with kids ages 3 and up. Here's what I hear from most preteens, adolescents, especially kind of around the time of puberty. Every time I talk to my mom and grandma and ask them about sex, they giggle and laugh. I don't understand what's so funny. Another person said, I just don't get what's so good about it. Why do people do it? What's the big deal? No one's told this child what's good. They've only told them what's bad. So they don't understand, well, if it's so bad, why is everybody doing it? Why is it such a big deal? I don't get it. Another person, I'm so mad at my parents. My mom never talked to me about sex. I had to learn it from a friend. I'm never talking to her about it. Now she wants to ask me questions? No way. Right? They react the opposite way. If you didn't want to talk to me, why should I talk to you? What's going to make them want to come talk to you if you won't talk to them? Set the example. Other questions? I know it's time for us to start wrapping up, so I want to leave you room for questions. People want to know my background. Is that a question? I think it was a
Hi.
question.
I was just going to ask you if you have a suggestion how to initiate a conversation if it has not been made.
Give me an age.
Middle school, 6th grade.
6th grade, you can start talking about body changes, right? So I want to give you, so if they haven't, well, it's going to depend on girl or a boy. I've noticed, I'm sure you've noticed that there are some changes that are starting to happen in your body now. You're starting to grow hair in places where you didn't have hair before. This is called puberty. You're going to have some other changes that are going to happen to your body. You want to teach girls that their breasts are going to get larger. They're going to begin their menstrual cycle. You want to teach men that they're boys, that their voices are going to get deeper, that their genitals are going to get larger, and they're going to have hair growth in other areas where they haven't had before too. You can start with the observation piece. It's always a great way to begin, right? I've noticed that you've talked to your friends about this. I've noticed your body has been changing. I've noticed you've been spending more time in the bathroom. I've noticed, start with your observation. See what they say. If they have a response, great. Start that dialogue. If they don't, and they go, yeah, so, well, I want to tell you that the reason why this is happening is because your body is starting to change and it's going in this direction. And then you begin educating them that way. And here's what's going to come with those changes. You're going to start to become more attracted to the opposite sex. And you're going to have lots of feelings. And you're going to want to spend more time with them. And you're going to, and share from your experiences. And the one thing you need to look out for is this, or that. That's where you start instilling your values. Yeah.
What your response would be if your child, first grade, comes to you and tells you, my friend is in love with somebody like that. Classmates. How do you utilize this to initiate a conversation?
Absolutely. So your friend says they're in love with you. Do you know what it actually means to be in love? Because mommy and daddy love each other. And that means that no matter what he says or what he does, I'm going to keep loving him.
But in first grade, remember when Johnny said he wasn't going to play basketball with you? And you said, I'm not his friend anymore. Love is really hard in first grade. It's a lot harder for you to know how to be a friend and to love somebody in the good and in the bad. When you get older, that's when you really learn to love someone, no matter what they do, good and bad. And so in this grade, we don't talk about how we love each other just yet. That hasn't happened. That won't happen till you're older. You don't need to worry about that now. It'll happen when you're older. For now, you could talk about who you like and who you don't like. But God tells us to love everybody. God wants us to love every single person in our class. You start instilling those values.
That's what I told you, my brothers and sisters, we love each other.
Sure.
And Jesus told us about the Lord, but we haven't really initiated a sex conversation.
That's fine. That's fine. If it feels like things aren't coming up for that, you can see where they take it. They'll come up in different ways. Yeah.
How about second grade? How was approach
So second grade, I don't know how the schools here. My kids go to school in Maryland, but in a different area in Montgomery County. In second grade, they began sexual abuse, right? So they're already talking to them about where they shouldn't be touched. And you can begin there. That's actually a great place to begin. Hey, I want you to know I really care about your body, and it's really important that nobody touches you anywhere where you have where your bathing suit covers. No one should touch you there. Let's practice. If someone does touch you, what do you say? What do? You want to teach them to have that loud voice. This is the time where it's okay to scream. You can yell, and you can shout, and this is a time where you can say no to an adult. You can stand up to them and you can say, no, you can't do that. That's not okay. And if they say, don't tell, you go tell. This is one of the times where it's okay to tattletale. You want to be the one to educate them on these things. And that'll start the conversation. Well, why? Why can't they? Well, because God made this for you and to share with your spouse when you get married. This is why God created it. He created our ears to hear things. He created our nose to smell things. We don't eat from our nose. And so He created each of our body parts for a specific purpose. Others? Yes. I'm going to give you an honest response. إن الكنيسة هل ممكن تتكلم؟ Yes. هل كل العائلات make it easy to do that? No. في المدرسة بيفرضوا عليك. ومش بيفرضوا, you have the option to not attend. Right? ممكن تطلع ابنك أو بنتك. But ما تقدرش تروح للمدرسة وتقول إزاي تعلموا ابني كذا كذا كذا. You can do it, but it's much more discouraged. في الكنيسة, because every family does things differently. أنا عايزة أعلم بنتي كذا كذا، وأنت عايز تعلم ابنك كذا كذا. لو الكنيسة وقفت وقالت كذا كذا، ممكن نص العائلات تبقى موافقة والنص التاني معترضين. But that's my opinion of what makes it hard, but I would defer to Abuna to answer in terms of.
Actually, it was funny that he asked that question because Peter just asked me, should we ask Neveen to come and give a talk to the middle school or to the high school? And the first thing that I said was, well, we have to talk to the parents first to make sure it's okay, because like Neveen just said, it's very hard for us to give general lessons about some of these things because not everyone agrees with it, and so usually the church likes to have professionals like Neveen come and be able to give a talk like that, and it is even for the kids. So the church is not against it, but it would rather you deal with it as a parent, and then the church can also have ways to ask people to come and be able to give these talks for those who want their kids to participate in it. So we're going to create the venues for you to be able to do that. But that it's not going to be something that is general and all the time.
6th and 7th graders in middle school. That's called Passport to Purity. It's a 2-day, to your point, a 2-day retreat that we have on an annual basis. We ask the parents first if they are allowed their kids to go. To be honest, most parents, they say okay until they know what we talk about, and then they say, oh, I'm not sure. But we do have that on an annual basis for middle schoolers, and it is already there. But طبعا, I was thinking the same thing. Probably we can ask Dr. Neveen في الآخر if she would like to join us, or if she can join us.
And I think it's important to think about the 6th and 7th grade, because by then they've heard this. You're telling them information they already heard, because the final thing I want to leave you with is that first messages are the most powerful. The first message you've heard about anything in the world is the most powerful to you, no matter what topic we're talking about. It's the most powerful thing. The first time we learn something is often the way that it sticks. It's really hard to unlearn something, okay? My son is 3. My daughter taught him a game. She taught him how to play this Jenga with the blocks. She taught him how to play it her way, because she didn't want him to knock over the tower, and so she said, بص أنا هاخد دوري مرة ورا مرة ورا مرة ورا مرة ولما أخلص it'll be your turn. And then you can play دور ورا دور ورا دور ورا دور, and then it'll be my turn. So I, after he already learned how to play this game from her, tried to teach him how to really play. I said, okay, حبيبي يلا, let me tell you how to play. So he goes, no, I know how to play. I said, okay, you take one and then I take one. No. Bella told me, I take and I take and I take. No, I had such a hard time helping him unlearn how to play this game and teach him the right way to play the game. Once your children have heard this message, it's very, very hard to unlearn what they have heard. Beat them to the punch. Be the first one to get there, because it's going to be the most powerful. So I'll close there. And thank you guys for listening. And I know this is hard. Change is really difficult, right? Changing the clocks is hard, and all change is hard.
We can take 2 more questions.
I just have a question about, is there any studies have been done to compare telling children at that early age, about the steps you have to do, and not telling them until you discover how far they went through this information, or what do they know about it, and then you elaborate? Because from my personal experience, me and my sisters, the more you put in these children's minds, the more they get occupied, and the more they escape from school performances, academic performances, and their mind will start working in the way you don't want them to go there. Has been any studies done comparing these 2 methods?
They have done research studies that the earlier you tell children when they're ready to hear the information, the more beneficial it is for them, because again, you're teaching them the right way to think about it before they start to hear it from peers, and you're also helping to instill the morals and the values that you want to include in it. That's why sex education used to be taught in 9th grade, and they have slowly began moving it earlier and earlier, because they're finding the more research that they do, that the later they tell children, the more sexual promiscuity they become involved in. When we tell them academic performance goes down, it's actually the opposite. So children with higher academic performance are less likely to engage in sex early. Mm-hmm. Yes. I think, one, you have to make sure they understand that's normal. It's perfectly normal, Habibi, for you to feel this way. I felt this way when I was your age. It's really hard, isn't it? You let them know, I know this is really hard. It's hard for me, it's hard for everybody. I bet it's hard for you. And because we know that it's hard, here's what we do. We make sure, and you set, what are the boundaries for your family? We're not talking about dating, because I'm not touching that topic here. So you need to decide, what is it in your family? Every family is a little bit different. Some say none at all until marriage. And so you got to decide what it is. And so is it you're not allowed to be alone with a girl? Or you can go out in groups, but make sure the two of you never spend time alone in an enclosed area where the temptation is too strong. Or let's not date at all if this is too hard for you. Or, you got to have these dialogues depending on how well you know your son and what it is that's going to be, or daughter, or maybe I assumed, where are their biggest pitfalls? Is it at, I don't know, gatherings at a friend's house? Or is it at a certain friend's house? Or is it when they're driving? So you have to decide what are the boundaries, and you have to, let them know that you want to be able to trust them. All right, should we?
Yeah,
Last question. Yes.
I just have a comment. Thank you so much. This is really excellent.
You're welcome.
It's very obvious that you're very knowledgeable and you're very educated.
Thanks.
The comment I wanted to make for kids, when we have to show our kids the good love, the good marriage, it's okay to show that mommy and daddy like each other and they are, and this is okay because kids, study has been shown, kids who are raised in healthy environment with mom and dad show their love to each other, they grow up to be healthy in this area. So I think this is part that we need to emphasize. The other part is commonly adults, mom and dad will say, nobody talked to me about it and I came up to be normal. I want my kids to be normal. I want to emphasize that I don't want to say we're not normal, but it could be better. So this is part, nobody told me and I got thrown into this in marriage and here you go, I'm normal and I'm fine. No, I think we cannot call ourselves totally fine and totally normal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree. Because, sex is one of the number one reasons why marriages are broken, right? So we're not all that normal either. We all struggle with this issue within our own marriages, and this is why it's so important for us to teach it to them when they're young, so they aren't just thrown into the fire. We don't learn how to drive. When you learn how to drive, you start out in the classroom, and then they put you in a car. They don't just put you in a car and say, drive. That's dangerous. It's hard. It makes it harder than it needs to be. So do the instruction.
Can I add something?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Think about it this way. If God didn't want to care about us, or didn't want to teach us about repentance and forgiveness and salvation, he would have not sent his son. He could have done it from upstairs, from heaven's like, halas, it's done. God, Jesus, next week, the Bible is Jesus coming into down to earth, and he's going to be tempted by Satan. The Spirit led him to the desert, وداه في الصحراء عشان be tempted. عشان يعلمنا ازاي نكافح وندافع وازاي نكسب and to win over sin. And same thing for us. God is telling us that these kids are my gift. They're not our kids. When we die, he's going to stand up and says, what have you done with my kids? My gift. في الاخر احنا بنموت بنروح فين؟ بنروح عند ربنا، بنروح لبيتنا السماوي الحقيقي. It's the eternal life upstairs. And he's going to ask you, have you taught my kids? What have you done with my gifts? Have you succeeded in teaching them the right way? So the same thing, just as God came down from heaven to teach us about repentance and forgiveness, we need to come down to our kids' level to teach them about this stuff. I'm a big advocate, and I can tell you, with my wife, I'm a Saidi. I do not want to talk about my kids about this topic completely. I will not. ولا كده. لا يمكن. أنا ما حدش كلمني. But at the same time, I have to look at in the society that we live in. أيام زمان بتاع مصر الأفلام والأغاني دي، روح اتفرج على التلفزيون دلوقتي، الحاجات اللي بتشوفوها في أمريكا بتحصل في مصر في التلفزيونات، المسلسلات والأفلام والأغاني. It happens in Egypt. We have to realize that. أيام زمان عبد الحليم وعبد الوهاب وحبيبي والوردة وأم كلثوم ما بنسمعهاش في الأغاني دلوقتي. وبنشوفها في أمريكا وبنشوفها في مصر. بنشوف الناس اللي بتمشي دلوقتي الرقص بتاع مصر دلوقتي بالمطاوي والسكاكين وما اعرفش ايه ويذبحوا بعض. الدنيا اتغيرت. أمريكا مش الوحيدة اللي اتغيرت، مصر اتغيرت، والناس في مصر بيطبقوا حاجات كتيرة في أمريكا. احنا لازم برضه زي ما بيطبقوا من أمريكا لمصر، احنا لازم نطبق حاجاتنا برضه، احنا لازم نحط تقاليدنا الأدب والتعليم وكل حاجة. خلي بالكم زي ما بقول لكم، احنا عيالنا دي مسؤولية، ربنا هيجي في الآخر يقول لك عملت إيه في الخدمة دي؟ دي مسؤوليتك، دي يعني هديتي ليك. أنت عملت فيها إيه؟ هل علمتها بطريقة صح؟ ولا علمتها بطريقة غلط؟ عايزين نسمع كلنا نقول نعيما أيها الإيه؟ مش عايزين بقى نسمع ربنا يقول لك أنت لا سمعت ولا عملت حاجة في الآخر هو مش موت لكنه ايه؟ انتقال. It's not death, it's just a departure. So we're departing back to heaven, to our Father. Our Father came down from heaven to teach us about forgiveness and repentance and to overcome sin. Next week the Bible is about it, Matthew 4:1 through 11. Same thing for you. Come down to your kids' level. So that way you can raise them up with you. So when they become old, they can be men and women and children of God. So then, stand in front of God and say, they've done great things. Sorry.
So I think we need to end up here. بس حاجة من الحاجات الكويسة إن إحنا ابتدينا very uncomfortable with the word sex, and apparently everybody is more comfortable at least with saying that. So that I think is a step forward. I look forward. Well, أنا بقول بس إن one of the good advantage of this إن إحنا ابتدينا very uncomfortable all of us with the word sex, and now everybody is more comfortable and is more accepting إن إحنا to talk about the subject. I'm not saying that we're professionals now أو إن إحنا خلاص بقينا خبرة في الموضوع دوت، بس خطوة بخطوة هنبقى مستريحين أكتر إن إحنا نتكلم. وزي ما قال جيمي إحنا بانفست في عيالنا، والعيال دولت الهدف الرئيسي للشيطان. انتوا خلاص الشيطان يعني شالكم من الليسته، هم بيدور عليهم هم. فعشان تكسر ايده وتكسر عينه من على العيال لازم تعرف انت بتتعامل معاه ازاي. والجنس هنا هو من اهم الحاجات اللي بيحارب بيها العيال الشيطان. ف احنا هنعمل سيشنز تانية وان شاء الله we'll let you know more and more details, but thank you.